What's up, guys? We're back again with another episode of the Beginner's Guide. This time using Guzzlord. Don't comment on the name, please, guys. I would somewhat like to leave this channel kind of PG. But yeah, if you don't understand that name, then don't even bother searching that word. But apart from that, we'll jump into it. This Pokemon's kind of weird. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It has like a kind of head on top of a head. If you see the little head on top of it, it has a massive mouth, but it's like claws or what would you call them? I can't remember what you call them. Claws are coming out of his mouth. It's kind of freaky. But yeah, anyway, it's a dark dragon type, so one of the biggest weaknesses, which you probably already know, but we'll jump into that in the next slide. And yeah, I mean at the end, this will be my final Ultra Beast episode, but at the end I'll kind of rate them in an order which I prefer, and then also I'll link the other 3 Ultra Beast episodes that I did in the description. You guys can go check those out and leave a comment down below of which Ultra Beast is your favourite and why. And yeah, jump in and just let you know, the series isn't stopping there. It'll be for the next 4 episodes. I'll be doing the Tapus, so the Island Guardians, and then beyond that, I'll be doing some more kind of high tier, non kind of legendary, so to speak, Pokemon. And then yeah, so this is going to keep on going. So please fire your feedback my way if you want to get something included, because it's your chance to learn about these new Pokemon. And naturally, I'm always open to suggestions. So please do. If you do, I'm not going to push you guys to do that. But yes, we'll jump on. Weaknesses and stats. I haven't got the title. Oh no, never mind. Weaknesses. Yeah, as I said, 4 times weakness to Fairy. Boo. This makes it. This and its speed make it perhaps not the best Ultra Beast in my opinion. And also, I mean, Ice, Fighting, and Dragon as weaknesses. With that massive, you'd think with that massive HP stat that it'd be like a Chansey or a Blissey kind of Pokemon, but those weaknesses, it's a little bit, it leaves it a little bit open to not being a defensive Pokemon, in my opinion. And not only that, I mean, the defense and special defense being 53 base, and the other attack and special attack also being kind of below average somewhat. It's food for thought at the end of the day, whether this kind of should have been an Ultra Beast at the end of the day. The HP is a little bit, and that's not saying, look, this thing can definitely take hits. You can see it resists water, electric, grass, ghost, and dark. 5 typings which most people have on their competitive teams. So if you can wall those, then amazing. And it's also immune to psychic, which is nice. So some nice resistances and some nice immunities. Just the weaknesses, it's like a 50-50. But it can, I mean, there's no doubt in it can be effective. And also with the Beast Boost as well as the ability, then you can use it how you want. And I have thought of a set which I think could work on this guy, out and out, whether it's competitive or whether it's laddering. I haven't really seen this thing in action as much. Not many people seem to use it. But yeah, we'll jump on into the move pool and the notable moves. You see some typical dragon moves. So I have put a defensive one there in Dragon Tail. If you did want to run this defensively, then go ahead. Dragon Tail's a nice phasing move. But apart from that, it gets Draco Meteor and also Dragon Claw. So both on the special and the physical side. And if you're perhaps scared of lowering that special attack by 2 every time, then run a Dragon Claw and be done with it, because you, as I'll go into in the next slide, actually don't want to be set up bait for fairies, especially Clef, because pretty much GG's if Clef gets to like +2/+2. So yeah, Then some stab dart moves. What I like about these is it gets coverage, stab moves, but both on the physical and special side. So that's really, really nice. That kind of makes it versatile somewhat. You don't know which kind of Guzzlord people are going to bring against you, or what you're going to bring against them. So that's some food for thought about this Pokemon in terms of a positive. And then nicely, it also gets both a special and a physical poison type move, so you can take on fairies. I wouldn't advise it, perhaps if you're making a read, then they'd be my guest. But yeah, it's just not. It can be run as a special or a physical of the same variant, pretty much, or even mixed if you really want to be that guy. It's also got some fire coverage, so steel types will kind of wall this thing for days. Well, somewhat. So flamethrower and fire blast. Flamethrower base 90 and fire blast like base 120 or something. So just put it in there because it's a harder hitting fire blast. But again, if you don't want to miss, run flamethrower, guys, because fire blast, almost like Stone Edge, can be pretty darn frustrating. Then also for some steel types, you get EQ as well. So stronger than flamethrower, so it's in there. I'm thinking what else. Electric types, somewhat. But yeah, I really do like this thing's move pool. Certain things let it down, don't get me wrong. The fact that you can see on there, it gets no recovery, or no real, gets toxic and substitute, but no other kind of support-esque moves. So yeah, a little bit sad on that side, but again, that's why I came up with this set. So I thought, that massive, I didn't get Chansey out of my mind, that massive HP stat. So I thought, you know what, most fairy type moves and a lot of dragon type moves hit on the special side. So in order to boost that special attack and perhaps beef some hits, put an assault vest on it, and plus it ultimately gets the most offensive move pool rather than a more of a support one. So you're not actually going to need to run toxic or anything really. Although there is a set below, as you can see. So yeah, I thought Draco Meteor, or if you want to run a mixed one, Dragon Claw. I'm just thinking AV Nuke, so it kind of went with it. So you come in, you drop a Draco, you get out of there. Sludge Bomb, if you're predicting a fairy to come in. If you drop the Draco first time and the Clef came in, next time you're in on a free move, click Sludge Bomb, kill it, or even just damage it. As long as you get something off on it rather than an ineffective move and you have to switch out. Flamethrower for steel types and also Dark Pulse for another stab move. Pretty much makes sense. Beast Boost. I'm probably going to say Calm, but if you wanted to run Assault Vest, Max Special Attack, Modest, you can either run Modest or Calm at the end of the day. It's completely up to you guys. Unless you're running Mixed, then it's like Naive or something. But yeah, that's kind of my idea of a preferred set for this guy. But again, open to suggestions if you've got another set, or if you think I'm being completely stupid with that for whatever reason. But apart from that, I've thought of more of a defensive set. So if you did want this to wall water types or grass types, you can run more of a defensive set. So there's 2 stab moves, but you can run a stab move and a coverage move, or 2 coverage moves, depends what you're going up against. I'd typically go, if I'm going on a defensive set, I'd typically run 2 attacks. So once my opponent knows what my one attack is, it's walled, but it's got more options to take on different kinds of Pokemon with 2 coverage moves. You can even run 3 coverage moves with Toxic, but Toxic Protect, if you did want to run more of a stally, bulky one, be able to get that leftovers, get that toxic damage kicking in, and yeah, I'd find that to be kind of effective, but not the preferred one. And again, I haven't tested that one bit, so whether it works or not is a question perhaps for you guys. I put leftovers, and then careful, so plus special defense minus special attack, and calm is minus attack. But if you're running mixed, then make sure that you're not taking anything out of your attack stats, but more so probably taking it out of your defense stats, if that makes sense, or even speed. Yeah, I'll probably take it out of speed. There's probably no point running any speed on this guy, unless you're speed creeping something, then that's fine. So yeah, to kind of summarise, I guess. There's not really much to summarise. It's got a really great offensive move pool, and it has got some viable sets. Although the 4 times weakness to fairy, gets sludge bomb, gets poison jab, so it has somewhat of a fear factor to it. But you can't just switch clef in. It's not going to wall this thing. It may click sludge bomb, in which, like, if you're switching in clef, you I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what I was going on about, but yeah, that's a summary. Moving on to the table, so the for and against. Great offensive typings. Dark and Dragon, 2 of the best in my opinion. Offensive move pool is amazing. Yeah, the defensive support options are limited, so I should have added that to the. Actually, I'm going to add that. I haven't added that in yet, but the support options aren't there. You can force a set like Toxic Protect, but ideally you would like some kind of recovery move. But again, maybe they thought, Game Freak thought, you know what, if we give this thing recovery, it's probably going to be broken, so they didn't add it. Maybe they'll add it soon or eventually. Who knows? Probably not. It is what it is once they've released the Pokemon, unless it's nerfed somewhat. The ability can definitely make up for the below average stats, so you can run a physically defensive one and boost that physical defense. You can boost that special attack stat to make those Dracos hit like a rocket hitting you in the face. So yeah, that's kind of nice. Best thing about this Ultra Beast is the ability. I'll bang on about that all the time. I think it is a really, really good ability. It's like Moxie. Moxie, but with the option to boost defense or spec, so it can be run on any kind of set at the end of the day. And then check some real common types in water and electric, and grass as well, which is nice. So it can beat your Suicune. I don't think it can beat Suicune actually. If you run a physical set, perhaps poison jabs, try and poison it. Yeah, that could be viable. An electric type solely gets flame earthquake, so don't keep an electric type in on this. In fact, I think this thing could probably take a +3 hit from a Xurkitree. I'm going to calc that after this and perhaps leave it in the description and let you know. I'm thinking then you could EQ it, and perhaps that's one answer to it. I like go back and watch that last video. I couldn't think of anything that would switch into a +3 Xurkitree. So if you found something, let me know. In the against column, you got a shoddy 4 times weakness to fairy. Don't get me wrong. Hydreigon has the same issue, but again, Hydreigon has the speed and the stats to kind of make up for that, and also the momentum bringing moves like U-turn, so it's not as bad, but this thing doesn't have that, and it's incredibly slow, so you can't even click a move and then sludge bomb because you're probably going to get outsped. HP's through the roof. Yeah, it's got no recovery, but again, that's probably for a very, very good reason. And then lastly, the stats are below average at best. Bar the HP, everything else is really, really subpar. I mean, 101, let me go back. I think 101 was the highest stat. Yeah, it was. So that's kind of sad, but yeah, I mean, I do like it. Don't get me wrong. The design, a little bit weird. Terrible 4 times weakness, average stats, brilliant HP, great offensive move pool. Sticking Assault Vest on it, I'm sure it can be viable. But I mean, whether I'm going to draft this guy, I probably will, just to give him a go. And I'll also keep a close tabs on how other people get on with it. But I don't know. I don't know how much I like it, all in all. Now, onto the ratings. If you've watched all these videos and caught up with it, then, or stayed up to date with it, then you probably already know what my list is. But first and second was probably the hardest to decide, and they are between Nihilego and Xurkitree. Nihilego, the speed and the move pool and the support options make it. I'm going to put Nihilego second, mainly a Xurkitree's design, and that special attack with the option of Tail Glow. I just don't think you can beat that. That is amazing. The +3 Xurkitree, like I said, is probably going to sweep your team. So I'm going to go Xurkitree, Nihilego. The third, I'm actually going to put... what have I forgot the name of it? Buzzwole. I did like Buzzwole. The design doesn't really suit the typing, and the speed isn't great. The typing is average. But kind of once I ran through it, it was a really kind of good, effective Pokemon, especially with that Bulk Up, Sub-Bulk Up set. So yes, and finally I'm going to put Guzzlord. I had this impression from the start when I saw its stats, and it's not changing at all. So yeah, just that 4 times weakness to Fairy, and the speed. Yeah, its move pool's brilliant, like we've been through, but there's just something that's making me think this is a UU Pokemon at most, like Hydreigon at the end of the day. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up, guys, for the Ultra Beasts. Like I said, I'm not going to do the banned ones. These 4 have all been drafted in my league, or both my leagues, as they would be, to see how good they would be. I have Nihilego, and I'm sure if you keep up with, soon to be able to keep up with my league battles, then you'll hopefully see it coming through and killing some things and destroying fairies, which Guzzlord can't do. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the Ultra Beast section of the beginner's guide. Next up is the Tapus, or the Island Guardians we'll call them, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.